All right, I'm having another day. I gotta stay in bed. So I'm gonna read this book that I wrote, Stories from Alaska, Christmas 2013. Let's see what we got going on here. So we got my mom at the helm of the Albert, which was quite an interesting story that is not in this book. Let's see, I've got a couple dogs there, so we probably have Tita and Moochie, and that's me and my brothers, my mom and I, probably about 15 or so there. My mom, don't remember who that little girl is. It's my brothers and Tita. Brothers, of course, my brothers. Love that face. I'm fishing. All right. Dear Ainsley and Logan, when this project began, it was actually pretty easy. I had lots of photos and lots of fun, short, cute stories of animals and small children to choose from. I've used most of those up now, but there's still many, many stories to tell. This book and those that follow are likely to have fewer pictures and longer stories, many of them told by other family members. I hope you enjoy it. I'm excited to share it with you. Much love, Mom/Aunt Babu, Christmas 2013. And there's Pete reading to the boys and I. It was kind of hard to tell in that photo, but I'm like leaning on him from above. So the story my mom wrote. There she is at the helm of Albert, Coyote, and then her and probably Tom. Once upon a time, there was a woman. A girl, really. Oh, the name of the story is The Coyote by Bear Bear. Once upon a time, there was a woman. A girl, really. She lived in the bush country of a faraway land, and she spent her days working, tending her children, milking her lovely goats, collecting eggs from her friendly chickens, chopping the wood to keep her family warm and cook their food, tending the vegetables guarded by the 5-foot fencing. It was peaceful most of the time, and she felt a contentment knowing what needed to be done to fill her children's bellies with healthy, vibrant food. One evening, when the work was done and it was time to be inside, she stood looking out her kitchen window. Far up in the hand-planted field of bright green hay, she saw a golden bean sitting still and alert in a shaft of sunlight, so she seemed to glow. Her ears were pointing up and towards the people's place. Her eyes were dark and shining in her golden face. She was waiting for the people and their tame dogs to be inside. She sat waiting, proud but aware of the woman's awareness. Finally, when the time was right, she lifted herself up and trotted to the chicken pen. Somehow she knew not to take the precious laying hens. She only took a meat chicken. Of course, it was spring. She had babies to feed. She was so polite. She never took too many, and she waited until we were settled so as not to scare the human pups. She moved so silently that the fierce dogs were not even disturbed by her harvesting of that single chicken. After that, year after year, she existed with the family, only taking what she needed, never rude in her need. She was the silent, peaceful coyote sitting at the edge of their lives. Year after year, the woman bought her chickens, knowing the karmic debt she owed, coexisting in symbiotic perfectness. This story is by Tom, and it is called Stowaway. Oh my god, look at those glasses. And his birthday, clearly at Don Jose's, because Kelly is also wearing a hat. Oh, it might have been Kelly's birthday, actually. That's just a picture of Tom. Stowaway by Uncle Tom. I barely remember this, but it's something that stuck with me and the people who know for many years. It makes me laugh out loud when I think about it. I was around 7 years old, and for as long as I could remember, Mom, Heather, Kelly, and I would go to the Homer Harbor to say goodbye to Dad before he went out to sea. Every time he would leave, we would know he would be gone for a long time doing a dangerous job. I think that as a child, this was very hard for me because I wanted my dad to be home safe and with us. The thing is, when you're little, if something feels wrong, you find your own way to fix it. This trip, Dad was going to go cod fishing on the fishing vessel Kamishak Queen. From what I can gather, I must have spent some real time plotting out my plan of action, for this would not just be any fishing trip for the crew of the Kamishak Queen. My mischievous 7-year-old mind was hard at work figuring out all the ins and outs of how I would become the newest and youngest member of the crew that year. I was sure they'd be okay with me going with them to the Aleutian Islands and that Dad could use my help on the boat. Mom, Kelly, Heather, and I all drove down to the Homer Harbor to give Pete, our dad, a happy send-off for his fishing trip. When the moment was right, I made my move. Unbeknownst to me, the rest of my family was freaking out, looking for me everywhere while I was busy squeezing into a small cubbyhole above the cook's bunk. Within seconds of the boat pulling away from the dock and me thinking that victory was mine, the crew had been notified that I was missing. To everyone's relief except my own, I was discovered in my hiding place and led back to dry land. I'm pretty sure that Mom was so worried I had fallen into the harbor and died that when she found me alive, she could have strangled me. It's been 25 years since then, and I still feel a little guilty. Ha ha ha. Sorry, Mom. All right. The next story will be by Bear Bear about some goats. Talk to you soon.